Here's Johnny.
Take your stinking paws off me.
Be cool. Be cool.
You fools! You're in danger! He's alive! He's alive! Wait, 21 gigawatts! Hallelujah! Holy shit! You believe this?
Jack Burt, me.
We're pretty good to run, girly boy. Stop it!
What's up, movie lovers, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and I just woke up and thought, hey, you know what, let's do a collection video. Day off, so let's just get this thing moving. Like before, we're still tackling the horror section of my collection, and it looks like it's getting close to the end. I'm gonna maybe try to do this as a really long segment just to really churn out a bunch. But let's see what happens, and hopefully I get through some good gems that you haven't seen before or that remind you that movies are kick-ass. But let's dive right in. First up is a very odd flick, one that I saw last year for the first time. Picked up the Blu-ray. It was a Kino Lorber release. Very, very interesting. I'm trying to think of what country this is even out of. But yeah, it is Rawhead Rex. Very, very, very odd film, but very enjoyable. Saw it with my friends. We got a kick out of it. I'll have to be honest, I fell asleep for part of it, but it's because I was super tired. Overall, really great, entertaining flick to watch with a bunch of people, especially people that like these kind of flicks. But yeah, very good release. Interesting film, kind of out of left field. The effects for Rawhead Rex are kind of a mixed bag. I mean, they're really cool concept. It still is a guy in a kind of suit. But yeah, interesting. It's also interesting to note that Clive Barker wrote the story for this one. So yeah, an odd bag of tricks, this one, but definitely want to check out. The release is great on Kino Lorber, and just a fun film in general. Yeah, just fun. Well, let's keep moving to this next set. It's a 5-film set, and I like a few of these movies in here. As the series went on, kind of got shittier, and I haven't even seen the last film, if this is even on here. Yeah, the last film of this series isn't even on here, so good, because I don't even know if it's any good. But it is the Scream series. Like I said, I really loved the first one. When it first came out, everyone was raving about it. Second film, kind of the same shit, but just got lamer. Third one, just a mess. But, hey, I wanted the first film on Blu-ray, and this was such a cheap set that I just got the whole series. Like I said, the newest one that came out, I don't even remember what it's called or titled. That one, the 4th entry, I haven't seen it. I have no interest in seeing it. I don't know. Like, in a sense, the first film is great, but it kind of collapsed the whole horror movement back then when it came out. Kind of made movies a joke, and that's where the scary movies came from, those spoof movies, and it just kind of, it was too tongue-in-cheek, and it kind of just demolished the momentum that horror movies had, and they didn't really pick up until maybe a few years later after that. But, yep, Scream, damn good movie, great characters, cast does amazing in it. Interesting plot for the time, now it's worn out, but great series in general. And let's move on to another different take on horror movies that kind of derailed things and made a whole movement spring up from of shitty movies. It is Blair Witch Project. I love the original. I never went into the film thinking it was real footage found like a lot of people did back then to make it such a overhyped flick. But I just love the atmosphere of it and the creepy nature. Just like, it really just gets to me for some reason. Especially when they're out in the tent and they hear those little noises of like children running around their tent. It always has a chill right up my spine. Really cool concept. And for being a found footage, like I said, this is what made found footage just blow up, and just they're everywhere, and they're all pretty much universally shit. So in a ways, I love this movie, but then I hate it for bringing about that whole fad. But yeah, great film. Cast does great. I like the characters in it. I know some people find them grating, but whatever. Good film, classic. Picked up on Blu-ray. So let's move on to a film that I have not seen, but it's by a director that I absolutely love. It is Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. And I know one of you guys out there a while ago recommended me watching this when I was going through my Giallo flicks, because this is more of a modern Giallo. But yeah, I've got to get on it as soon as possible, because I've heard good things. You guys suggested it, and I picked it up last year, so why not give it a look? And I love Brian De Palma. His films are just pretty much universally good. So I'm gonna have to give it a watch. But don't know much about it, so that's kind of a good thing. I kind of kept it out of my mind all these years and never really researched it, and so I should be surprised if it's a entertaining flick at least. Alright, moving on to and I should probably, where the hell's the rest of the set? I don't know why. This is Amityville Horror, the original, and I have the box set somewhere, so it should probably go with the rest of them. I know they're up here somewhere, I just can't see them. Why am I blind? Well, I'll put them up there later, together with them. But, yeah, I already talked about this one. Great classic flick. Margot Kidder's in it. And James Brolin's in it. So, and also Rod Steiger goes absolutely batshit crazy in it. Great flick. Classic. I got this one a couple of years before I got the box set. So, kind of just got misplaced. I'll throw it back with the rest of the collection. And so it finds its home. But let's keep moving on to a modern horror film, or somewhat modern. I mean, it came out recently, and it's a pretty interesting take, and the director is just amazing. I've seen it once, probably need to see it again, but I enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. Yeah, let's just get to it. It is Black Swan, with Natalie Portman in the main role, and also her co-star is, where the hell's her name? I always forget her name from that 70s show. Somebody help me out, please. Mila Kunis. Aha! But, yeah. Really cool flick. Darren Aronofsky, I'm gonna mess that up. But yeah, I love his films. Hell, I even dug Noah just for its just insane premise of combining the biblical story with just even more crazy mythological kind of shit. But yeah, Black Swan was interesting. Just pretty much centers around a girl in a ballet trying to become the lead, and just fighting, just pretty much battling her inner demons, and it's just very surreal and interesting. So it's an interesting take on that kind of storyline, and it's filmed beautifully, pretty batshit crazy. So yeah, definitely check out Black Swan. It is a damn good film. So let's keep going. Got a lot to go through. It is Charlton Heston in The Omega Man. Let's just get right to it. This one, I love this flip. I love this film so much. It's based off of it, I Am Legend, the writings of, what's his face? It's early, I told you I just woke up. Richard Matheson? Yeah. They don't even have him credited on here. Richard Matheson wrote the story, and of I Am Legend, and this is based off of that. It was also a film, Last Man on Earth, with Vincent Price. This is the second time they adapted it. I know they did it a third time with Will Smith in I Am Legend, and they're probably going to be a shitload more, because it's just a story that they keep trying to revisit. And I like each version that they've done. But Charlton Heston just badass as always in this one. Really cool. It's got a 70s kind of blaxploitation feel to it, because there's a lot of African Americans in this adaptation, so it kind of mixes the thing up, and it really has that feel of a blaxploitation flick, even though it's calling from a Richard Matheson screenplay kind of writings. Really cool stuff. Definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure I reviewed this on the channel. I don't know why I wouldn't have, because it's just a fun flick in general. But yeah, definitely check out the review on the channel. Omega Man, total badass fun. And let's switch it back up to a more modern day film. And this one is The Cabin in the Woods. And I know Joss Whedon wrote this one, but it's actually directed by Drew Goddard. Not a lot of people know that. They always just go with the Joss Whedon and assume that he directed it. But no, it is a definitely an interesting twist on the teenagers go to a cabin in the woods film. And if you haven't seen it before, I'm not going to ruin anything for you because it's really a movie you got to see for yourself because they really turn the genre on its head and do some interesting stuff with it. But yeah, definitely has a H.P. Lovecraft feel to it towards the end. Great cast. You got Chris Hemsworth himself, Thor in it, in a early role. Just a fun, entertaining, funny film. I wouldn't say scary. It's just really entertaining. It's really a huge tongue-in-cheek humor to it. Really strange tone. Yeah, check it out. I'm not going to talk any more about it because I don't want to just accidentally spoil something. But yeah, definitely check out that film. Great stuff. Let's move on to an interesting film that's kind of under the radar. Nobody talks about it really, but it was a badass modern day film that had an old, almost Lucio Fulci style to it. So I was surprised when I saw it, really dug it, and picked it up on Blu-ray. It is We Are Still Here. And it is an interesting kind of ghost story, almost like a cursed kind of storyline. But yeah, you can kind of see like some like weird ghost kind of things right there. But yeah, really, really cool. Definitely check this one out because not a lot of people have talked about it. But it is really, really cool. It's got a gentle pace to it. It's not too overhyped, stylized, and just, you know, streamlined like most horror films are. I don't remember a lot of jump scares. It was more creepy atmosphere. Yeah, definitely check it out. Hunt it down and check it out because I was surprised when I saw it and thought, hell, people can actually make good horror movies nowadays. They don't have to just go BAM! And then people jump out of their seats, you know, that kind of bullshit. It was really a story that got under your skin and visuals that really creep you out. So definitely check that one out. But let's move on to a classic of the genre. It is The Exorcist. And if I have to explain the story to you, I don't know where you've been all these years. The Exorcist is just an ultimate classic and just a great story, great characters, great acting, great special effects. Yeah, it's a very, very demented film that gets under your skin and really makes you just feel dirty. But yeah, it's a classic. Linda Blair's awesome as the possessed little girl, Reagan. Check it out. Check it out. Just check it out if you haven't, you stupid idiot. But I'm delirious. I'm delirious. All right, let's keep moving on to a movie that's kind of relevant because the remake is already out. It just came out yesterday, and I'm probably going to see it. I'm actually going to be watching this today. Friends are coming over to watch the original. Oh, well, this is what it is. Pet Sematary. I should have just showed you in the first place. Pet Sematary, the original. And I'm actually going to watch this later today, tonight, with some friends coming over to prep for the new movie. And I don't know if I'm going to be seeing the new movie. Probably, I guess I assume I'd probably see it tomorrow. But I'll have a video up for that one for my reaction. But this one is a great story, one of Stephen King's best book to screen adaptations. Yeah, really creepy. The scene in this one with the little kid being hit by a semi has haunted me my whole life. I was freaked out when I saw it as a kid, and it still gets under my skin where I'm just like, and then I saw the new one. They kind of switch it up a bit. And the way they switch it up kind of hits home for me, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to see it, but I think I'm going to force myself to see the movie and just get through it. I'm a big boy, I can take it. But, yep, great movie. Pretty much people are buried in a sacred ground in the forest and come back to life. And just all kinds of weird, messed up shit happens in the film. So definitely check out the original before you see the remake, just to see where they differ and just get a good idea of the story that Stephen King crafted. But let's move it on. These next few are going to be some Stephen King ones, just to give you a heads up. But the next one is my favorite. It's not the scariest film in the world, because I laugh more than I am disturbed by it. But it is Stephen King's It. One of my favorite Tim Curry roles on the planet. This guy right here is badass. Love this guy. I actually, in 7th grade, I think I wrote a letter, because they had us write letters out to famous people to see if we get a response. And I wrote it to Tim Curry, because I loved him in It, and Clue, and Rocky Horror Picture Show, and just everything he's done. And wanted to see him get even his Grand Wizard role in The Worst Witch. But yeah, this movie is just all kinds of fun. It's a TV movie, but yeah, great cast for both the young kids and then when they grow up to adults. And Tim Curry is just amazing as Pennywise the Clown. I quote this movie all the time. Great stuff, fun. And I know people are like, oh, it's not that cool, it was so lame, blah, blah, blah. Hey, shut up. Just shut up. But let's keep moving on to the remake of It. And this one saw in theaters like the first day it came out, because I was so hyped for it. And I wasn't hyped on the level that they would be able to capture any of the iconic stuff in the TV movie, because the TV movie is Tim Curry. But I was just hyped to see what they did with it, and I was actually really surprised at how much I was into the movie. The cast of kids in this are pitch perfect. They embody like the kind of like Goonies style kid movies back in the day, where they were just like a bunch of kids going on an adventure and seeing crazy stuff, and they were funny. The movie was actually really disturbing in parts, and just, like I said, funny. The foul mouth on these kids was just cracking me up for some reason. It was a great adaptation. And what's that, Sarsgaard guy? Bill Sarsgaard played Pennywise the Clown in this one. I mean, it's not my favorite because Tim Curry can't be topped, but he did a really good job of being kind of goofy, creepy, I would say. But yeah, great flick. Definitely check the remake out if for some reason you were just holding back. But I mean, it made it like shit tons of money, so I assume a lot of people have seen the film. And the sequel's going to be coming out sometime, probably, I don't know, maybe it's 2019? Hopefully in October, because that would make sense. But I will definitely check that one out, because I loved it. Next up is a movie I just started appreciating recently last year. It's Carrie! I actually did put the review up last year, so check out the review for this one. But it's a Stephen King classic. Brian De Palma, just like Dressed to Kill, directed this one, and it is amazing. I stayed away from Carrie because I just thought it was a stupid idea, and then when I watched it for the first time, really just sitting down and watching it last year, loved the hell out of it, thought it was really amazing, great performances across the board, just good stuff. But yep, that is Carrie. I got nothing more to say about that. Alright, clear my throat and keep moving on to, this is probably one of the most interesting and fun experiences I've had in the theater when I went to go see this. It is a Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino collaboration, and I'm sure you know what it is. It's Grindhouse. And just the experience of seeing two movies back to back with a bunch of trailers in the middle, like the old Grindhouse days, was really, really amazing and fun, and especially entertaining with a group of friends. We all went and just had a blast with it. Now, as far as the two movies go, with Death Proof and what's the other, Planet Terror, I love Planet Terror, and none of these movies are good. Like, these are just trash movies with just weird plots, situations that don't make any sense, but Planet Terror was the more enjoyable one for me. Just really had a blast with that one. Death Proof, I really almost borderline hated that one, but it was just the whole experience of everything going on with two movie trailers and just everyone getting together having a good time was enough to make me just forgive it. But I gotta watch it again because, I don't know, it was just one of those experiences where your expectations were all flipped. It was almost like watching The Last Jedi, where subverting expectations was Quentin Tarantino's goal, and just making a movie that everything you thought was going to happen wasn't going to happen the way you thought, and Kurt Russell's a bitch. And that pissed me off, but I'll have to watch it again just to check it out and wrap my head around it. But this is the cool Blu-ray for it, and it's just jam-packed with a whole bunch of shit. Good stuff, though. Cool artwork inside. But let's keep moving on, because this is going to take forever if I try to get through all of these ones, which I don't know if I will. I might stop pretty soon. But here's another movie that had mixed feelings about when I first watched it. I actually hated the shit out of this film. And I don't say I hate it still, but I judge it for what it is, and for what it is, it's a decent horror film with some really weird moments, and it's just really entertaining, so I forgive it for that. But it's because I'm very critical of this director, because he's made my favorite film. Drag Me to Hell is the movie I'm talking about. I am in love with the Evil Dead series. It's probably my first film series that I loved and cherished, and I was thinking I was going to get that same thing with this, but I didn't. It's a different kind of film, but has the same kind of aesthetic, but it's just not pulled off to the quality of the Evil Dead series. And I don't know if that's because the lead actress, or the overuse of CGI, or just, I don't know. But goofy horror comedy does not work without Bruce Campbell, I guess. But I've learned to appreciate the film for what it is, and just really get swept up in the wild ride that the movie turns out to be. So I've learned to appreciate it, so I don't know what to say else about that. But shit, this should have been in the Stephen King section, so I'll have to maneuver this around. But it is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, an ultimate classic of horror craziness, with Jack Nicholson in the lead role. And yep, I mean, it's a classic. If you somehow haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I mean, they even reference a whole scene in Ready Player One, so it's that classic of a film. One of Stanley Kubrick's best. I love 2001 Space Odyssey, but this one is just really, really demented. It has a potent atmosphere that you feel throughout the entire film. It's just something about the hotel, that location, the story of being isolated there, and just him going mad. It's just really interesting to see unfold. I know Stephen King is not a fan of this version for some odd reason. He's more a fan of the TV movie that came out, and it's I don't want to mention it. I shouldn't even have mentioned it. I'm feeling sick to my stomach. Let's see. Let's go. Shit. Let's do 3 more movies and just do them in one swoop, because these are all in a series. So let's go with the Jaws 1, 2, and 3. I do not have Revenge, and it's not because I hate the movie, because the movie is total shit, but it's just I've never run across a used one anywhere out and about that's for cheap, so I just never picked it up. I don't have that big of a problem with it. That's probably the one when I was growing up, because it was on TV at that time all the time. I've watched probably the most out of all of these, sadly. I don't know, I've watched 3 a lot because it's just so goofy. But yeah, the Revenge, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But yeah, the first one, Jaws, classic, absolute classic. Makes you scared to go into the ocean, or any body of water for that matter. And then the second one, that is a really decent sequel, surprisingly. Just follows the kids that witnessed the first movie, and they all get stranded and attacked by Jaws. And then number 3 is, out of all of them, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. Number 3 is my favorite. Jaws 3, also aka 3D, is insane. It just centers around a SeaWorld where Jaws gets in and just runs amok. And it's just so much fun. It's like watching Jurassic Park or something, but with a shark. It's funny as all hell. Dennis Quaid is in it. It's just fun. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed to say this is my favorite. So what? it's just a fun film. I love it. Cheesy, enjoyable fun. But that is the Jaws series I have. Jaws 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I don't really have anything against Jaws 5, even though it's the worst of the series. Just haven't had the opportunity to pick it up. But I think I'm going to end this one and leave the rest for another video. So guys, hope you liked that one. Hope you saw some ones that you want to pick up for yourself if you haven't already. Not a really big collection of movies that you haven't heard of. These are more the standard kind of run-of-the-mill, everyone's heard of these ones, more modern films. So no, not a lot of gems out there that have kind of lost through time, but a good set of films to say the least. But guys, I'm going to end it because I feel like I've been rambling for some of this. But yeah, guys, I'll see you next time at whatever thing I'm going to be doing. I know I got a Hellraiser video review coming up. I'm going to be seeing Pet Sematary, the remake, probably tomorrow. And I've also been trying to incorporate some streaming movies that I've been finding on like Amazon or Netflix and stuff like that. I wanted to make a video about, what's it called? Love, Death, and Robots, the Netflix series. I watched the whole 3 hours and was just blown away. Really, really great animation shorts throughout it. So I wanted to do a video on that just to start showing people what they can find on different streaming devices that are really interesting, because some people might just say, you know, there's nothing really on there, it's not for me, but there are some gems. Like last night I watched Oily Maniac, a Shaw Brothers horror film. Oh my god, I was laughing my ass off all night last night. It's just so effing weird. But guys, that's it for me today. Those are the things to look forward to, and I will see you guys next time. So stay out of trouble, take care, and I'll see you guys later. See ya!